Okay, so I'm so glad you hopped over into this little bubble. I love Instagram. I do live on Instagram. However, for longer format content, I am going to be coming in here because every time I go live on Instagram, I either have my video disappear or it glitches out and I get cut off midstream. Anything over like 6 minutes in there, that happens. So, welcome. So happy to have you. All right, so let's dive in. I wanted to have a little bit more of an in-depth conversation in here today about this morning's post. So if you didn't see it, I put out a quote and it says, "What can you do today that your future self will thank you for?" Now, I know you've heard this before. I know coaches have beat this thing to death. Okay. Here's the thing though. It is so freaking powerful. And I'm gonna tell you a story. Years ago, it's gonna be about 5 years ago, I went to an event for a product launch and they actually used this concept for their marketing. It was so powerful that it has stuck with me to this day in everything that I do. Any big decisions that I make, I literally will sit there and be like, will my future self thank me for this or want to hit me over the head with a frying pan? Okay. Basically, this campaign was selling something. It was a health product, and the whole commercial was the future self was writing a letter to her younger self, so the present self. She was having a dream, right? And it was basically thanking her for taking all these steps to make sure that they could live a life of longevity and vitality. And so when the present self woke up, she was so inspired that she started to take those steps to achieve that goal so that her future self would thank her present self. It was so impactful for me. Like I said, it has stuck with me forever now, and I use it for everything. I journal on it, I make decisions based on it. It has had that power. And we're actually going to be doing this exercise in great depth if you join the program that I kind of teased today, um, which doesn't have a name yet. I'm still working on that. It doesn't have graphics yet. I just decided to announce it. I knew I was going to announce it. I just decided today felt like a really good day to kind of put it out there that it's coming. And it's all about blueprinting and mapping out your future year. But it starts with this question, right? So, December 31st, 2024, what do you want to thank the today you for? Like, what are the steps that you want to be grateful for in 2024 on this day? So I really encourage you, whether you join the program or not, I really encourage you to take that post, screenshot it, save it. I really don't care. Write it down. This isn't about analytics or whatever. This is honestly an exercise that has been life-changing for me. And I really think it will impact you as well when you really devote yourself to it and reflect on it and decide what things your future self will thank you for. So I wanted to come in here and share my big three, right? There's little things day in and day out, but big concept things, there are three big ones that I have been using now for 5 years. And I swear they have made me a better person. I'm in better relationships. Just life is better. My mental health is better, like the whole 9 yards. So here they are. Number one, these are in order, by the way, like They're all equally important, but at the same time, if I had to put them in order, this is the exact order. Number one is self-care and personal development. Okay. Self-care should come before anything. And as a woman, as a parent, as a man, I don't care what your title is that you put yourself into, this is number one. There is a reason, okay, that on airplanes you put your mask on first because if you pass out, you are no good to anybody else. If you're sick, you can't help your children. So don't allow your body to get to the point where it's screaming at you with dis-ease for you to finally take care of it. Okay. My body is my temple. It was the one suit that I cannot take off. It is the one thing that, however much love I put into it, it reciprocates. It reciprocates in allowing me to lift heavy things, to pick my kids up, to have the patience to do homework with them, to go out with my girlfriends, to do a 12-kilometer hike, right? It reciprocates. It's that love to me. And it wasn't always like this. I was very sick. I was diagnosed with Crohn's and colitis when I was 17. It was an awful, awful journey. If you've ever experienced any of those GI symptoms, you know the pain that comes with it. And with that pain came depression because I just felt so hopeless and just wanted the pain to stop. And it was a long journey. I had large bouts of it. I was very ill. I was 90 pounds. I lost most of my hair. Like it was terrible. But I really needed that wake up to show me like you're not listening to your body. You need to take care of yourself. And it took a long time, and my now partner was actually a huge pillar for that because he gave me the room and the support to make self-care a priority for me. And it's not even up here, it's like down here because it's the foundation to my life. So he gave me the room, the space, the encouragement, the support. Like he read books and shared information to help me build that platform, that foundation that we could build a life on after. Okay. And that self care was everything from my mental health to my physical health to my spiritual health, my all of it. And the mental part for me was always personal development, right? So learning new things, whether that's for business, for pleasure, or for just how to take care of my body and my family. I'm always a student. I will forever be a student. I love to learn. I'm a 5-1 generator under human design. So I love to like pick things apart and investigate it. And I need to know the why and the how of everything, which if you're in the coaching field, you see a lot of things of, oh, well, you don't need to know the how. If you're ready to invest, then you should just know it. Not for me. Like that's an instant turn off for me because I need all the details to feel safe. I need all the details to know how things function. Okay. So I'm an investigator. I love to learn. I love to know the nitty gritty. And that actually is part of my self care. Allowing myself and giving myself the freedom to be okay with needing that much information was a huge relief when I finally accepted that about myself, right? So another part of self-care, acceptance. So self-acceptance or self-care, sorry, and personal development, that is the number one thing that I thank my younger self for right now. Like, I'm so grateful that she didn't give up, that she didn't just opt for the pills and the surgery, that she dove in and researched and learned and tried and tested different things to so that I could be the woman, the healthy woman that I am today. And I know that my future self will be just as grateful to me today because of the steps I'm taking now. Like I've already decided, let me give you a sneak peek, that 2024, my health focus will be sleep and how sleep impacts my mood, my digestion, my GI tract, my just everything. So I'm going to be tracking that, trying to really figure out what that perfect, as perfect as you can get, that ideal frame of sleep that my body actually needs because it's always different, right? The the experts can tell you all they want that you need X amount of sleep, but we're all different. Just like you might be a night owl and someone else is an early bird, right? It's you have to really experiment and learn your own body. It's your own personal project while you're here. We all function very differently. There's similarities, right? But we're never a carbon copy of somebody else, right? These your thumbprints, like that's a perfect example. Nobody's got the same thumbprint. How wild is that? And your needs are the exact same thing. They're similar, but they'll never be the same as somebody else. So I encourage you to really dissect your own health and wellness and make small tweaks and see how they work. All right. So moving on. Number two, for what I thank my past self for is actually a practice. It will always be a practice. So I know my future self is going to be uber grateful to me today because I continue to get better with this. And that's asking for help in delegating. We wear hustle and struggle like this badge of honor. And I say this from experience. I came to Canada as an immigrant when I was a child. Not a lick of English, uh, just the four of us. Nobody could speak English. We came here with literally two suitcases, one carry on, and gratitude for being able to leave the situation we were in back in my home country and be brought here. We actually came in November, so it was like coming up on the anniversary. But things were hard. We didn't know how society functioned here. We didn't know the rules, the laws, the opportunities, nothing. And so I became very dependent on by my family. I was 8 years old, changing diapers, making food, taking care of my brother, cleaning the house while my parents were at work. I learned very quickly that if it didn't get done, if I didn't do it, it didn't get done. And if I didn't do it, I got in trouble. So then I learned the expectation, right? I learned how to read my mom's mind basically of what she would expect from me when she got home. And that became part of my identity. I could do it all. I don't need anybody's help. I'm self-sufficient. If I don't do it, it won't be done right. Like this was my dialogue for decades and it was so toxic. But aside from toxic, it was exhausting. Like completely exhausting. And if you know anything about Crohn's and colitis, you know that it's sparked by stress and cortisol levels, right? So like it kind of makes sense reflecting now. So moving forward, I just assumed I had to do it all. When I finally had to ask for help, when I was sick, I physically couldn't do things on my own. It was almost like little pieces of weights were taken off of me. And so I would ask for more and for more and for more. And not only was this alleviating to me that there was less for me to do, it improved my relationships. It improved my relationship with my partner, and it's definitely improved my relationships with my kids because they know I no longer expected them to be mind readers and to know what I wanted done or needed done or expected because the communication opened up, right? This was revolutionary in my world. Communication wasn't a big thing. You were just told what to do, and that was the end. Or you were expected to guess what was expected of you. Anyway, we're still working through that. When I started to communicate, the relationship was like night and day. If you're a parent, you know the guilt. Whew. You know the guilt that comes after you yell at your kids, after you get upset, after you lose your cool. It usually results in tears behind a closed door because you didn't mean it. You're just, your level of compassion for yourself just isn't there yet. Asking for help and delegating, I'm not saying I don't yell. Believe me, I yell. I mean, I talk loud, period, but I still lose it. But it's nowhere near to what it used to be. And I'm able to express myself afterwards and apologize because we've built a new relationship. And it all stemmed from asking for help. Like, who'd have thought, right? Like, who'd have thought that asking for help would open up the lines of communication? And on top of that, okay, it really empowers the other person. They are happy to help you. Like, I love helping people. That's why I don't understand why it took me so long to actually understand this because I love to help people. Just like I would rather give you a gift and watch you open it than me receive one. So you're giving the other person that joy of seeing you be happy because you got help. It empowers them to take the next step. And yesterday was a perfect example. I asked my kids to take the garbage out. We have these wheelie, they're called Kirby's. We just wheel them out of the garage and out to the road. They're supplied by our city, part of our taxes. And so I asked my son, as I always do, hey, when you get a second, can you wheel the garbage out of the garage and take it to the road? Yep, no problem, Mom. And then he's running around the house. So I kind of pause and I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, oh, I'm just taking the garbage out. Without asking, he actually went around the entire house and collected all the garbage inside before he took it to the road, right? So my ask for help took some pressure off of me, but it empowered him to take the next step, to level up to that next version of himself. See what I mean? Like, I am so grateful to my past self for starting this. And the last one is why you guys are all here. And I'm grateful I started a business. I'm grateful I started putting myself out there because talking about something you're passionate about and something that has made your life better is truly, it doesn't feel like work. There's no pressure there. You're my friend. You're my friend. And if you're struggling with something I've already overcome, or I have a resource to use because we're both overcoming it together right now, I want to tell you about it. Why on earth would I ever want to keep that to myself and make you go through that struggle? I believe we are put on one another's paths to support each other. So if you've come across this video, then take it as a sign that you needed to hear the message, that potentially this was the resource, the message that you needed to hear to finally do the things today that your future self is going to thank you for. Okay? So those are my big three. I apologize for the tears, but anything to do with my children makes me pudding. I hope you found inspiration in today. I hope you will join us for the upcoming program. We're literally doing this kind of work and then we're mapping out everything um, to kind of, I don't believe there's work-life balance anymore. Yes, there's balance, but it's actually just integration. How do you make areas of your life ebb and flow with each other so you're not feeling like you're taking one hat off to put on the other? Okay. If we can make it work together, it's less stressful. And there's a system for that. And don't be afraid of systems because I'm a go with the flow if you follow human design. There's a way to build out your schedule and build out your goals so that they work specifically to you because, again, you're a thumbprint. You're a unique thumbprint. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out. Please share this or tag someone if you think they could benefit from it. Keep your eyes out on Instagram for the teasers and the links and the graphics coming out for the new course. All right. See you soon.